Hi everybody and welcome to the round 16 review and round 17 preview. And hallelujah, the bye rounds are over. Can I get an amen? That's right, they're finally over. Thank goodness for that. And sure enough, as Michael's going to complain about my green screen again and the lighting, we're going to continue with this week. And it is a mid-table musical chairs. With this time, there's a new order from 3rd to 7, so it's all changing. The top staying as it is, the bottom staying as it is, but 3rd to 7 are moving all over the place. And although the top 3 all did lose this week, or last week, the Gods did secure the number 1 rank, being 4 games to go, and they're guaranteed top spot given the points for over second spot El Diablos. So let's start the review of round 16.
Lock it in. Sats for rides. It's time to win. Footywired. 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 Footywired.
All right, so the first game we're going to look at is the Falcons, who have been in some pretty good high-scoring form lately. Leading into this one anyway, they were being defeated by the Gators, who have got back into the final. Back-to-back wins for the first time since round 11. They got a 366.5 to 337 win over the Falcons. Falcons, they did have a few players who did step up this week. Best 3 being Blake at halfback with 64. Hewitt as a tackler, he got 47. And Big Tex up forward got 34. For the Gators, the round didn't start off too good, but the mids did step up. They're led by Grundy, 52 in the ruck. Petrakis in the midfield got 60, and Newcomb as a follower got 51. Have a look at optimised lineups. Both teams have had complete new forward lines. Norton getting in there for the Gators and Larky getting in there for the Falcons. Baker and Bowie would have also come in the midfield for the Falcons. While Flynn would have come into the ruck because Grundy would have gone to utility for Gators. All right, that's game 1. Let's go to game 2. And the next game, this is the first of 2 big upsets for the round, with 9th place Seek and Destroy absolutely smashing the Bombers forever, who pretty much, they were almost at full strength Bombers, they just were not in good form. The score was 407.5 to 287.5. Bombers, their roller coaster season continues, and they got their first they got a bit of win-loss happening all over the place there, so forth. So let's have a look with that one. The low scores, it was pretty much hard to find 3 good players for the Bombers. So their best 3 were Witts in the ruck, he got 39. McRae as a midfielder got 54, and Darcy as a full forward got 32. Second Destroy, they had stars all over the place, which was pretty good. And it makes me happy to say that this guy here was the best on the ground. Jack Gunston, half forward, kicked a career high 7 goals, and he got 61 as that half forward spot. Dacos had an all-round great game, and he raised the bat with 100.5 in utility. And LD in the midfield got 57. Optimised squads for this one. Bombers, they would bring in the thrill seeker, Thrillthorpe to full forward. Papley would have been the utility, and Caleb Daniel would have come into halfback. While Seek and Destroy, Gunston would have gone to full forward, and Dacos would have been the half forward. While Clark, who's continued his good form, would have been his utility, and Haynes would have come into the halfback. So now, let's go to the game of the round.
Footywired. Match of the round. Footywired. Match of the round. Yeah.
Gee, Mick loves his AI intro music, doesn't he? Anyway, it is the game of the round, and it is for the second time this year. The Gods have lost to a bottom place team twice this year. The ever so impressive Gods have lost to the bottom place team. This time, their losses to Punters Paddock. The Gods have now had 2 losses in the last 5 weeks. Have we seen a chink in their armour? Punters Paddock, they got the big win over the Gods despite being questioned about their selections during the weekend, and they did get a nice score in the process as well. The win still leaves them with a chance for a final spot. They were 8 points out, and there's 16 points available as there's 4 games left. The Gods, well, they're 16 points clear, and as I said, given their superior points difference, guaranteed to get top spot for this one, even if they do lose the remaining of their 4 games. This week, they were led by Rosie, who was Luke Toll didn't follow him 57. Naz, once again, decided Mangani Malira. He was a halfback with 61, and Josh Dacos was in the midfield. He got 51. For punters, they had some great performances this week. None better than the Charles Royce himself, 58 as a full forward. Sean Darcy, who, once again, I even questioned it, whether he will have a good score or not, but he got 48 as a ruck. He was absolutely fantastic. And Graham as a tackler got 41. So look at the optimised lineups for this one. The results would have changed. The Gods would have shuffled their lineup completely and would have had the better score of the optimised lineups. Jordan Sweet would have come in and McKercher would have come in. Garcia and Brayshaw would have been out. It's surprising Brayshaw's been such a good player all season. Everyone else, a bit of a swap arounds for their teams, but most likely they're the 2 major changes. Punters, the only moves they would have had was Sidebottom would have come to tackler and Salem would have come in. That's sort of the only changes they had there. So let's go over game 4 now. Looking at game 4, El Diablos sitting second spot for the 3rd time in 4 weeks have scored poorly. Sugar Daddies ending their little slide with a 305 to 353.5 point win. El Diablos, well, they're still second, but now only 2 games clear. They have been in poor form lately, but the one game that they did win was a massive score, so they can continue to get those high scores. Then they've got no problems there. The chasing pack are running out of games to catch them. The Devilcocks, well, playing without a ruckman for the 3rd time this year. 3 times they've had no ruckman due to late outs or just poor selections. Not really poor because they're second on the ladder, so they can't really say poor selections. They're doing all right. Only had a few standouts. They were Parker in the midfield. He got 50. Carl Amon as a follower, 52. And the halfback, or Ben Long, should I say, or full forward with 33. Sugar Daddies, their total defence remains alive. And after losing 3 games in a row, they got the much needed win. The players that took the challenge and stepped up were, surprise, Matt Rao as a tackler, got 63. We should just leave him there and just pre-record his name every week because he's there absolutely every week as a tackler. Ainsworth, full forward, got 32. And Darcy Cameron as utility with 80.5. And once again, the optimised lineups, a reverse result here once again. What was I going to say? The decision for El Diablos, adding Ben King to full forward and Duggan at halfback. While, I was going to say, Sugar Daddies, well, yeah, I've lost my script again. But anyway, Sugar Daddies, they didn't have much to choose from, so their team pretty much stays as it is. So they actually chose their optimised lineups. Losing my script all over the place. It's getting pretty late. 10:30, Tuesday night. Big day. Got done by the cops this morning. Got a parking ticket as well. Very, very expensive day. Anyway, the final game, it's Rangers Anonymous. They stopped their 3-game slide and they gave Renegades 2 losses in a row. They got a 363 to 327 win. Rangers, it feels like they get their win when their forward line does well, and it's all really comes down to Georgiadis. He got 58 as a full forward, so if he plays well, Rangers play well. That's what it feels like. Riley O'Brien, once again, he was one of the best. He got 47 as a ruck. And Jack Steele as a tackler also got 47. Renegades, they've hit the skids at the wrong time. 2 losses in a row, as we mentioned. But Hogan does play the Eagles this week if he plays. This week, their 3 best were Noble as a follower with 50, Morrow as a halfback with 55, and Oliver as a tackler with 39. Optimised lineups, Taranto and Anderson swap for the Rangers, while for Renegades, Heaney, who has been in good form, moving more forward line, and especially now that Goulden's back, to half forward, Noble utility, and they will bring TDK as a follower. So, let's have a look at the team of the week. This week, lowish score, 547.5. The Thrill Seeker and Gunston are the forwards. Rowan Marshall would have been the utility, and Grundy would have been the ruck. Goulden and Dacos are the midfielders, with Rosie at halfback and Rao as a tackler. So let's have a look at the ladder. After 16 rounds, the top 2, they stay as they are, and we've already discussed the Gods, how they've pretty much locked in top spot. El Diablos, they need to lift their scores. As I said, they've had a few low scores lately, but they're sitting second. Still two games clear with 4 games to go, so more than likely they're going to finish second. Gators, they move to third. Sugar Daddies to fourth. And Rangers, they moved in the top 5. It just shows how much one loss can affect your season, because last week Bombers were third and Renegades were fourth. This week, Bombers and Renegades are dropped out of the 5 after their losses. And that, as I said, it's one game just can change the whole season pretty much at the moment, especially with 4 games to go. The bottom 3, they stay as they are, but they are 2 games out, and the bottom 3 teams are actually scoring pretty well. So if they don't make the finals, it's going to cause some trouble. Had a little run home, and as we said, 4 games to go. El Diablos by far had the easiest run home, and that's because they played the bottom team Punters Paddock twice in 4 weeks. From there, 4th place Sugar Daddies has the second easiest, shall we say, run, followed by the Bombers and the Gods. It's a little harder for Gators, Rangers, and Renegades for their run home, and the 3 bottom teams, as you can imagine, playing teams that are higher up in them, have the hardest run home. So it could be a fairly exciting last 4 weeks. So let's have a look at one of those 4 weeks. It's round 17.
Footywired Radio.
And the buys are over, as we mentioned, but the fixtures all over the place for the AFL this week. We'll go into that a little bit later. But 4 games to go. The race for 5 is getting tight. One bad week, as we mentioned, can potentially ruin your season. A massive game between the Gators and Bombers this week. That's on the cards. It's a pure 8-pointer. And this week could actually be a pretty big one for the key forwards, with some of those key forwards that are leading the Coleman playing some of the, I suppose, less weaker defences in the league. This week, Seek and Destroy, they play Sugar Daddies. Punters are playing El Diablos. Renegades play the Gods. Rangers play Falcons. And Gators play the Bombers, as we mentioned. So let's look at the first game. It's Seek and Destroy and the Sugar Daddies. Seek and Destroy, only 2 games out of the 5. They want to keep their good form going, so they might be able to put some momentum going to the finals if they continue to win all their games. And if they win all their games, they will make the finals. They are going to welcome back Stanley this week. Caldwell, Wright, and Bailey are also back. Ridley is a test, however, coming off his bye. Sugar Daddies, well, they would want to win to keep their spot in the 5 as well. They've got 9 players back from the bye after they had all those players out last week. The team, his lineup's already done for Sugar Daddies. He's brought in Stewart, Martin, and Ashcroft into the side, unless he makes some changes. This is recorded 10:30 Tuesday night. Parrish, he looks set to miss some time, and Redmond also. Possible loopholes here. Seek and Destroy, well, Thursday night they've got LDU and Zerha. And Friday, they've got Haynes and Dacos, and also Jamie Elliott Friday night. Another good option, though, if they do want to go this, is Flanders. His position's moved. His role's changed a bit for the team, and he's actually starting to pick up some stats again. Not as much as what he was getting last year, but he's starting to pick up some good stats there for fantasy-wise. Sugar Daddies, well, at the moment, they've got Cherry, or whatever his name is, Big X. He is in the loophole for his game on Thursday night, which is a big one for the Kangaroos. So let's go to the second game. It is El Diablos and the Punters. Punters, well, they still do have a pulse. As I said, 2 games out, 16 points available, only 8 points out. This week, big in with Jeremy Cameron. He probably looks set to be the only player that might actually get a game this week for him. And he plays the Tigers as well, so he could be in for a massive one down in the category. They do also welcome back Hipwood, Dempsey, and Bedford. Whitfield looks set to miss because his 12 days concussion protocol actually will be the 12th day when they play, so he's not going to play. Side bottom, though, although he's not on the injury report, apparently he's sick, so he may miss. El Diablos, well, they do need a win to confirm their position in the finals. More than likely are going to be there, as we mentioned. But they welcome back a ruckman, which will be very, very welcome for him. Briggs is a test, but Fort is back. And Big O has played 2 games in the VFL, and he may return as well. Toba Green is also back for them from their buys. Well, Joel Armitage, he looks set to miss, and Parker is a test. Lynch, well, he had a head explosion. He's out for 5 weeks. Some possible loopholes here. Well, Richards, Thursday night is a more likely loophole for punters and probably will get that spot. Diablos do have Parker in place, but if he fails his fitness test, he could go Cripps on Friday, or even Toby Green on Friday playing the Eagles might be a good option. Look at Game 3, Renegades and the Gods. Renegades, they've slipped out the 5 last week, so a win will most likely bring them back into it. Hogan, he's set to return, but he is a test. If he does play, he plays the Eagles, so he could be up for a pretty big game considering he kicked 9 goals against them earlier in the year. Bailey Smith, one of the best players this season, and Max Holmes, another one of the best players this year, are back this week, as is Setterfield as a tackler. He has already done his side. Sicily and Warple are also test this week. Warple, should I say. So they could be returned. For the Gods, Atkins is back. He'll probably be the only real change to the team he's already chosen, probably for Garcia. Atkins this year has been the best tackler in the league as well, so he'll be a much welcome addition to that side. Possible loopholes here. Renegades, they've got Teddy in place. So he pretty much is really the only option for them, considering the only other player that looks likely to miss this week is playing Saturday. So his options are pretty much limited in who he can choose as a loophole. Gods, they've got McKercher, Kurt and Curtis playing Thursday night. They've also got Dacos as a possible loophole on Friday. So let's have a look at the next game. Falcons are playing the Rangers. Falcons need a win to have any chance to make the 5. They are boosted by the GWS boys coming back this week in Callahan and Green. But they have lost Wardlaw to injury, concussion. Rangers, they're 5th, and like their team, they're like every other team around them. Every game is key for them. Merritt and Caddy could be back for him, or they are back, but could be chosen. And Kelly will be back as well, while Caniglio is a test. Loop options here for Falcons. Kennedy and Libba play Thursday night. Last week they chose English as a loophole, so they could go English again Thursday night. Friday they've got Hewitt and also the GWS boys in Green and Callahan play Friday night, as well as Liam Baker. The Rangers, Kelly could be a pretty good option for him, unless they want to go Merritt on Saturday for a loophole. The last game, genuine 8-pointer here. It is the Gators playing the Bombers. A win for the Gators will put them 2 games clear in the 5 with 3 games remaining. And this week, they welcome back Lockie Ash, Dane Zorko, and Lockie Neal. Myers and Andrew are back, but they're most likely not going to be chosen for selection. Bombers, they've dropped out the 5 from last week's loss. So a win will put them back above Gators and back into the 5. This week, though, their Dog boys do play North and their Crow boys do play the D's. So they've got a pretty favourable draw this week, considering they only got 287 points last week. They welcome back Ashcroft, Goldie, and Manor. Tom Mitchell sounds like he may get a run this week, may be back. Loop options here. Norton will probably go in for the Gators, considering they've had some trouble with that, choosing the right forward line. So Norton probably get the job on Thursday night, unless they go one of the Brisbane boys on Saturday. And Bombers, they've got Sheasel, Bont, or Daniel playing Thursday, and even Chera, who's been a loophole recently for him, who plays Friday. This week's AFL games, North and the Dogs play Thursday night. Big game for the North, celebrating their 100 years. Friday, and actually North are going to be revved up by Dennis Pagan before the game, so let's see if that does anything. Probably not. Friday, 2 games. Pies and the Blues play at 7:20, and the Eagles and the Giants play at 8:20. Why? I don't know. There's 2 Friday night games in the next few weeks coming up as well, which is amazing. Saturday, the Bombers play the Suns, Cats play the Tigers, Lions play the Power, and the Saints play the Hawks. Sunday has the Swans and the Dockers, and the Crows and the D's, and this is why the fixtures are all over the place. 2 games Friday night, 2 games Saturday night, going head-to-head against each other, and then there's only 2 games on Sunday, which aren't even, there's no late Sunday game. And school holidays as well, so I don't know why they wouldn't play Sunday game. Anyway, it's ridiculous. That's all for the review and preview. Thanks very much. Good luck to everybody. It's heading up, so let's go. See you.